What is going on, my friends, and welcome back to another video here on the channel. Well, there's a couple things that are now happening with ICP's price since the video yesterday that you need to be aware of, because it could make the difference of where we go over the next couple days, possibly even the next couple weeks. And so with that said, we're going to talk about exactly what that is and what you should be doing right now. So make sure that you do subscribe to the channel if you do enjoy the content, and let's get straight into the video. Now guys, don't forget, if you do want to trade some ICP on up to 25x leverage without having a KYC, meaning you don't need to give them any of your personal information, and without needing to use a VPN, you can use the MargX link down in the description below. You're going to get up to $10,000 in bonuses and rewards when you do sign up and start trading with my link down below. So make sure you do go check that out down there. Now, in yesterday's video, we talked about the fact that ICP was trying to do an RS flip. Okay, what I told you all was, look, we have these macro structures. We have what many people consider to be a double bottom, what many people consider to be a cup and handle pattern, all of them being built on this roughly $9 level. And I told you what you need to be on the lookout for is if ICP can flip that $9 point of resistance into a point of support. Because if it's capable of doing so, it opens up the door for ICP to make some beautiful moves to the upside, in which I do believe, the breakout target off that cup and handle could be anywhere upwards of, $12 to $12.50, which is a beautiful move from here. And what we can see is that ICP's done a pretty damn good job at that. Okay, it's come back down, it's tried to flip this point of resistance into some support, and it is holding as of right now. Now, I will be honest and say that it's not the most bullish support establishment that I've ever seen, and it definitely could fall, but at the end of the day, it is trying, and that's the best that we can get at this exact moment. Well, there's a couple more things that I want you to be aware of. Now that it is trying to hold some support, there's like a next step basically that I want you to be watching out for now, so that you'll know the progress that ICP is making and if it is actually on track to head back up towards $12. Well, now that ICP's price is, I would say as of right now, successfully holding this previous point of resistance and flipping it into some support, what I would go ahead and say is that we need to continue on to step 2. Now, step 2 is going to be the breaking of this micro 618 to 786 Fibonacci zone that you can pretty easily identify by doing this simply. Now, look, what we're going to do is I'll draw it out for you so you know how to draw it out. You're going to head over to your Fibonacci's, okay? You're going to take your Fibonacci and you're going to go up to your swing high. You're going to drag that Fibonacci all the way down. Oop, I didn't mean to do that. You're going to drag the Fibonacci all the way down to your swing low, and that's going to create this 618 to 786 zone. And I will actually really quickly show you my settings. Here you go. Make sure it's on logarithmic scale, and these are the ones that I have open and turned on. But what this is going to do is it's going to show you a zone called your 618 to 786 Fibonacci zone. Historically speaking, when a crypto has set a high and set a low and is working its way back up to that high, the 618 to 786 Fibonacci zone is going to be the hardest point of resistance for it to clear to get back up to this level. Okay, and so you can kind of see that right here. We came back up to this 618 to 786 zone, we pulled back. We came up to it, we pulled back. We came up to it, we pulled back. And right now at this exact moment, ICP is trying to break out of the 618 to 786 box. And if it is capable of doing so, history says that you will typically return back to your macro high. In this instance, that means that ICP would be looking to push back up towards $10.97, which would be a beautiful move from here all the way up to, another 14 or 15% to the upside. Now, we could go further. We're not going to go much further than that, but we could go further and say that history also says once the 618 to 786 box is cleared, especially if support's established on top of it, oftentimes you can see a 1.272 fib extension, which puts ICP reaching $12.75. But again, we're not going to try to get too far ahead of ourselves. We just know that that is something that's kind of in our back pocket right now, right? And so where we're at this exact moment is that we need to see ICP's price able to clear now $9.78 and hold above that level. It's amazing that we broke above this point of resistance here. It's amazing that we held some support. But at the end of the day, if we're unable to break out of this 618 to 786 zone, we very easily could just pull back right to the downside. We could see ICP come back down towards $8. We could see it come back towards $7.59 to retest some of these key points of support. This is very possible, and that is what's going to happen if we're unable to break above the 786 level. And so where we're looking at again, $9.78 is exactly where we need to see ICP's price really being able to break above. And if we're capable of doing so, as I mentioned before, the door of opportunity to the upside is now wide open. One thing that I will say, and something that I'm not particularly liking too much, is the fact that ICP is giving us some bearish divergence right now. What you can see here is that we're setting in a high into a higher high, but in the same time frame, we're setting in high, lower high on the 4-hour RSI. And historically, that means that we are losing momentum in this move upwards, which could lead to a pull back to the downside. So at this given point, I am still holding off on doing purchases or anything like that. I'm quite simply just waiting and watching and seeing if ICP is going to break its way out of the zone and open up that beautiful door of opportunity to the upside, or if it's going to pull back and start to have to go into another one of these before making that move. So of course I will continue to update you as this does play out, but I want to make sure you're as updated as possible. And so knowing that you have this zone of resistance right above you is extremely important, and I wanted to tell you about it. So of course, if you do enjoy these quick, straight to the point updates, you can always let me know by smashing that like button and subscribing to the channel down below. Now guys, don't forget, I do have a second channel in which I do fundamental analysis. So I step away from the charts and I go more fundamental analysis. I'm going to be doing fundamental analysis on ICP 2 or 3 times a week down in my second channel. So make sure you go subscribe to that and check it out if it does interest you. And I can't wait to see you all next time. Peace out, everybody.